So here it is, x squared minus 5x minus 36 equals 0. Just to make it very clear, I just want to see. I have the feeling that we finished this, but just to super convince myself that we didn't miss anything. Okay, so we completed this factoring. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have this equation to solve. So this is the last review before we look at the last section before we look at the test that I created as practice for everybody to use. Okay, we're ready. Good. So in order to solve this equation, we do have already 0 on one side, but this is not a product yet. Not a product. So we know it's a trinomial, it's in descending order, no greatest common factor, no negative leading coefficient, no special product, because this is a perfect square, but this is not. 1 is the leading coefficient, so therefore, we go ahead and try to find two numbers whose product is and whose sum is. So can anyone help? The product is and the sum is.
-6 and 5.
So the product has to be -36 and the sum has to be -5. The thinking process next takes us to the product. The product is negative, so therefore it's a must that one is positive and one is negative. Correct. Now, what happens next? I need to think and find two numbers whose product is -36, and when I add them, I get -5. Can anyone give us two numbers whose product is -36 and whose sum is -5?
-9 and 4.
+4. Very good.
+4, yeah.
Exactly. So these are the numbers we need to use. Indeed, -9 and 4. So therefore, I use the factored form. I have 0 on one side, and then I can automatically find the solutions. But I need the factored form first. So what will be the factored form? And of course, I have to use the numbers that I just determined. That's why I determined them.
X minus 9, X plus 4.
Indeed. In any order. You can write x plus 4, x minus 9, or x minus 9 times x plus 4. When you set this equal to 0, what do we get? When you set this equal to 0, what do we get?
-4 and 9.
Indeed. -4 and +9. Excellent. Any questions? Okay, this is the same type of problem, but let's do it quickly. Only because what is different here is we don't have 0 on one side. We have to move these terms and get to the other side. And when you remember, when we move terms from one side to the other, everything and the only thing that happens is we change the sign of each term to the opposite sign. Okay, now, again, it's in descending order, no greatest common factor, no negative leading product, no negative leading coefficient, no special product because of -10. And I need two numbers. One is the leading coefficient. I need two numbers whose product is, okay, -10 and -3. Again, positive and negative. So -5 and +2. And we factor into x minus 5 and x plus 2. And now we get two solutions. And the solutions are
5 and -2.
5 and -2. Very good. Excellent. Good. Let's see what else we have too. Same idea, we move everything, and this is a little bit more sophisticated because the numbers are bigger. So I will browse through. This is number 4. If you want us to go back to number 4, we can. Okay, this is a very nice situation, and somehow this specific type of problem trips up students. So please remember, we never divide by x or an expression with x. Do not ever divide by x. But in equation, I can simplify if I want to. And in this case, the greatest common factor is 7. This is not the factoring situation. Here I am allowed to simplify because I am allowed in any equation, I'm allowed to simplify or divide both sides by 7. That will not change the solutions. But do not divide by x. That will be a tragedy. So when I divide by 7, I get x squared plus 2x equals 0. This divided by 7, this divided by 7, this divided by 7. And now I simplified my equation to the utmost, right? To the most possible way. So then I have when the first factor is 0, when the second factor is 0. Would I have gotten to the same solutions if I hadn't simplified by 7? Of course. But I do what I want to simplify if I can. I will always simplify, dividing both sides by 7, because it's easier afterwards to factor x and then get 0 and -2. Anybody, any questions on this problem? Okay, moving on. Let's see, what else? Okay, this is a important situation. We have 2x, x minus 2 equals 7x squared minus 5x. Of course, in this case, this is not ready for the zero product principle. I have to have 0 on one side. So I will have to distribute here first. So I have 2x squared minus 4x minus 7x squared plus 5x. This is a must. I have to distribute and I have to move these terms, and that changes their sign. So this is negative 5x squared and this is positive x equals 0. Again, you already know my style. If you like it, adopt it. If you don't, that's fine too. I refuse to solve an equation with a negative leading coefficient. So I will multiply. This is not factoring. I'm solving an equation. So I am allowed to multiply or divide by -1. I am not allowed to divide or multiply by x. This is not possible. Never. But dividing both sides by -1, it's fine. So I have 5x squared minus x equals 0. This divided by -1 or multiplied, the same thing. This times -1, this times -1, this times -1. And now I made my life easier. When x is 0, x is 0. When 5x minus 1 is 0, I move 1 and divide by 5. And I have both solutions. How do I know there are 2 solutions? Because the expression is quadratic. Degree 2, 2 solutions. Now, here's one of the reasons why I like to simplify. On the previous example, this one, I just want to go back to it for a second. Never do this. 7x squared plus 14x equals 0. So the greatest common factor is 7x, and then you have x plus 2. This is correct. But here's why I don't write this and I simplify by numbers. Because students say, oh, I have 3 factors, which means I have 3 possible solutions. What if 7 is 0? What if x is 0? What if x is -2? And they somehow come up with 3 solutions. How can 7 be 0? So that's the reason why I always simplify the equation, dividing only by non-zero numbers, never by variables. And then Hopefully my students will not run into a situation in which they will say, oh, I have 3 solutions because one of them is 7 equals 0. So please remember that. Nadi, you wanted to say something?
No.
Okay, no worries. Okay, this is the same idea. You have to distribute and set it equal to 0, this descending order, etc., etc. Same thing here. Please let me know if you want us to work on any of these. I just wanted to go to, as soon as possible, to that review. But it doesn't matter. We'll solve any problem you want to solve. What is the degree of this polynomial?
4.
Yes, so we have to get 4 solutions. Should we look at this one? Is it a yes or a no?
Yeah.
Very good. So we have 6x to the 4th minus 96x squared equals 0. You can say x squared is a common factor, divisible. No, no, I cannot divide by variables. No, that is not possible. But I can divide both sides by 6. Of course I will. I don't like those big numbers. And I'm allowed to simplify an equation dividing by a non-zero number. So I get x to the 4th minus, what is this? Is it 16? Remember degree 4, I have to come up with 4 solutions. Even if they are all the same, I don't care. I have to write 4 solutions. Good. Now I will factor out x squared. I get x squared minus 16. I do know that this is the difference of squares, which factors into what times what?
X plus 4 and x minus 4.
Excellent. And now I have to find 4 solutions. From here, I found 2 solutions that are the same, because this is x times x. So 2 solutions that are the same. From here, I find that x equals -4. From here, I found that x equals 4. And this is how we get those 4 solutions. Is this okay?
Yeah. Perfect.
Nadi?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, perfect. Okay. How many solutions will you find here?
3.
Yes. Good, so let's work on this problem. What is the first thing that we need to do here? For sure.
Make the solution equal 0.
Set the equation equal to 0, indeed. X to the 3rd plus 2x squared minus 49x minus 98. Polynomial descending order, no greatest common factor, no negative leading coefficient. I covered up the last 2 terms because it's a polynomial. What do we factor out from the first 2? What do we factor out from the first 2 terms?
I want to say x squared.
Of course, absolutely. You have to say it. What is left in parentheses?
X plus 2.
Indeed. I will not uncover this before I write x plus 2 set equal to 0. If I forget the equal symbol and 0, I will never solve. I change the equation into an expression. Now, I need a sign and a factor.
Minus.
And the factor?
Be 49.
Indeed. Now the common factor goes out. And I have x squared minus 49. But I know how to factor x squared minus 49. How do I do that?
X minus 7, X plus 7.
Indeed. So therefore, I have three solutions. Can anyone give us those three solutions?
-2, 7, and -7.
-2, 7, and -7. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, moving on then. Oh, I see some chat here. Oh, there was something else from. Good. Good. Okay, so let's also solve this one. 9x squared equals 81x. Yes, it's an equation. I am allowed to simplify it, dividing both sides by a non-zero number. So then I have x squared equals 9x. Yes, I have to move everything to one side. Do not write to the sides. Please remember, every equation has one left-hand side, one equal symbol, and one right-hand side. Now I will factor out x. It's quadratic, so I expect two solutions. And the solutions are
0 and 9.
when the first factor is 0, excellent, x is 0. And the second factor is 0, x is 9. Very good. Thank you. Any questions, anybody? Okay, the same thing. We have to move t to the other side of the factor. I just want to start that review. How many solutions will you get on this one?
Three.
Yes, because the degree is 3. Let me know if you want to stop at any of these. Is that a yes? $15, 16. Is 16 a yes?
No, I understand this.
What about this one?
Yeah. That would be
Good. 1/2 x squared plus 3/4 x equals 5. Always remember, no one can ever force me to solve an equation with fractions, and no one can force me to solve an equation with a negative leading coefficient. It's not going to happen. So I know that the least common denominator here is
2.
one more time,
2.
one more time,
2. Is it?
one more time.
So, big 2. Oh, 4. Oh, wow. Okay.
1/2 times 4 is 2x squared. 3/4 times 4 is 3x. 5 times 4 is 20. Now I move everything to one side. Then I start my algorithm. Trinomial, descending order, greatest common factor, no, negative leading coefficient, no. Special product, no. 1 is the leading coefficient, no. The last resort. The product needs to be I need two numbers whose product is
-40.
-40, because we have to incorporate now the leading coefficient. The sum, however, never changes. Because the product is negative, that's the next thinking process. in this next step in the thinking process, the product is negative, so we expect a positive and a negative. And now I have to find two numbers, a positive and a negative. When I multiply them, I get negative 40. When I add them, I get 3.
Eight and -5.
Very good. At this point, we need to replace the middle term using the numbers we just determined. We're not changing the problem, we're rearranging the terms, changing the outlook. Plus 8x minus 5x minus 20. This is still that. But I don't want 3 terms, I want 4 terms. Do not forget the 0 on the other side, because otherwise we are changing the equation into an expression and we will never solve. What comes out from the first two?
Ask that one more time.
What comes out of the first two?
It's 2x.
2x. What is left in parentheses?
X plus 4.
Excellent. If I don't write it, do not uncover. I'm not kidding. If you uncover it too soon, you may get confused and you may write something else. So write it, copy x plus 4 first, and now look. We need a sign and a factor.
-5x.
Indeed. No, negative 5.
-5.
Yes, because this times this is that, and this times this is this. Now this is the common factor that comes out. And what is left in parentheses?
2x minus 5.
Yes. And now we have two options. From here, what do we get? And from here, what do we get?
We have -4.
Move -5 and divide by 2.
We have 5/2.
That's it. Indeed. We started with a quadratic expression. We expected 2 solutions. Degree 2, 2 solutions. Okay, first here we already see that this is already factored. So the left-hand side is 2x plus 1 multiplied by 4x squared minus 19x minus 5 equals 0. So we already have a solution.